Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place and I'm here with another match from the Frozen Times tournament. It's a bit impromptu for me, as Miracle Man should have been cast in the match, but unfortunately some technical difficulties will be making for a different stream, and that's from me today then. Well, hopefully everything is going to be working just fine in a moment, as the players are going to be ready for the game pretty soon. So let me just send an advertisement so that everybody knows what's up. There's been a bit of a change of plan. Hopefully it's not going to be any kind of problem for anybody in here. And well, as you can see, this match is going to be between the Fister Sisters and the TM Knight clan. Rather, yeah, well, pretty much a clan. But even though they are right now playing in a team tournament, they are pretty much playing as a clan. So yep, you can basically say that there is exactly that going on. So let's just click in and we are going to be ready with the first game of this match. That is going to be played on Tundra. I have already greened up. So there might be some kind of other issue.
Are you ready?
That sometimes happens. Okay, so I need to rejoin. Apparently I'm not showing as being ready for the players, but it should be pretty much fixed just about now by rejoining. So are we choosing a different host? Apparently yeah. Okay, so Joe is going to be the one hosting the first game here then, on the home map of Deities of Death. That's going to be Tundra. And looking at the lineups we are so far seeing for Deities of Death, Joe, the well 44 playing set, with him Grease, Loki and Libertine Loki. Interesting lineup and pretty good players in there. And against them as TM Knight, we are seeing Potato Eater as Oranos, Samus Scream as Oranos, and Legend is playing Isis. Legend, you probably know him from all the DM Academy and being a pretty good player in deathmatch, so we are definitely interested in seeing how he fares in a normal supremacy. Set Loki Loki, Oranos Isis on Tundra, so who are we going to be favoring? Probably Deities of Death with the lineup, but we shouldn't really underestimate the double Oranos with the Isis in tow. It's not really anything bad at all. And well, Samus Scream is the first that we are having a look at, and he's just now saving a bit of walking time through, going through the TC, and then he's of course going to be using the villager for the extra hunt. Otherwise, we are seeing interesting placement of the TCs between him and his teammate, the Legend, of course. Definitely nice placement for them overall, and I don't really see any kind of problem with the TC placement for either team, looking at the minimap, because the TCs are quite close and not really any kind of bad position, but we could be basically saying that Deities of Death are having a bit more useless TCs as far as some map control goes, because the TC for Grease at the very bottom is really right next to the wall, which basically means that it's really completely useless and such. Not really anything all that great. And the one on the top side for Libertine is not much better. It's basically also out of kinda harm's way, we could be saying, but it's not really all that bad as the one at the bottom, so not ideal, but at the same time not really anything tragic at all. This could also mean that Deities of Death, if they are properly aggressive, could be making use of all the front TCs and of course the front gold and the hunts of their opponents. This is definitely this TC, and the one TC from Potato Eater at the top will be quite of interest to them. Nice scouting through the goats right now by Libertine. Looking at the minimap, it's almost like some fingers of a hand. Nice to see in here, as he's making use of all the means necessary and available to him. Yeah, the tree fell right on top of your head. Otherwise, the map for Libertine seems to be pretty much okay. The gold placement at the back is pretty decent, but at the same time he doesn't have a tower protection in here, so potentially it could be very easily raidable by Turmas from this darkness. It's going to be, of course, quite nicely scouted quite soon, and especially because of the Aurochs, which will probably be the second hunt that Libertine might be wanting to use, but there is also interesting Elghurt in the front, right next to gold and his front TC. And looking at a bit more aggressive lineup from Deities of Death, we could be expecting that actually that will be something that they might be going in for. Joe1244, a pretty decent Egyptian player overall, is already working on walling himself in. Pretty good idea, but looking how he's facing against Turmas, he definitely wants to, I don't know, go about here. He doesn't want to finish with this line, because the Turmas standing about here would be nice in range of all these guys. Not probably these ones at the back, but of the ones in the forefront, most definitely. So he needs to be careful about this wall, as even though it's nicely thought through, not really all the way through. Definitely needs to be quite careful about it. Well then, what do we see in the Red's base? Nothing all that interesting. The gold right next to the tower, definitely nice for defense, so that's much better than what we have seen for his allies, but a lot of gold at the back of their bases, so they should be quite fine if they wall properly, especially with the extra hand in place. Alright, pretty nice scouting by Legend. This is pretty nice spawn for them, because he, as an ISIS, is in the pocket, going to be protected by both Oranoses on the sides. Definitely very lucky spawn for the TM team. And he's right now going to be discovering extra hands. And there's actually a lot of extra hand in this part of the map. Not only elks, but caribous. So something that the purple player might be quite interested in, as he's probably going to be dropping a temple pretty soon. And well, we are of course also seeing the set scouting, as Joe is going around the map, with Samuscream being right now pursued, so that he doesn't have all the oracles without any kind of damage on them. Interesting way from Legend, as you can see as he's dropping a temple, that he is moving basically half in into the middle and then doubling back. There could be definitely one in here, and well, there actually was one, and unfortunately for Kreese, that was exactly at the placement where he wants to go for a temple, so very aggressive build up from them, and Green is joining in as well, so that's probably going to be a temple from him about here also, I would be expecting, a bit more into the defense, because he has basically knew that this guy is in here. So the Legend going to be annoying this Ulfsark, so that he doesn't really finish. And well, if you see a bit of a stutter in here, that's unfortunately in-game. That's not really from the stream, so that's something that the players actually have to suffer through, I would be expecting. Not really ideal, but so far nobody's complaining, so it really shouldn't be all that bad for them. Well, Potato Eater also having a quite nice hunt at the back, as you are going to be expecting everybody to be advancing at 3:30. Of course, Prometheus in here. Nothing yet for the ISIS, but it's kind of understandable. He's going to be advancing for faster heroic or 2TC faster heroic, I would be expecting. And we should be seeing advances into Heimdall from Greece, and the other guy into Forseti. Well, he is Loki, but this one at the bottom is also Loki, so well, quite interesting. And they will be probably attempting to basically kill Samuscream before he's any kind of threat. And since he's just now dropping temple, he's way late. You can see that's going to be advanced after 5 minutes, and oh my, that's just playing into cards of deities of death quite strongly. And let's see if they can actually make him pay for this. This might really be a pretty big disaster for the TM team, because he definitely is not going to be ready for anything like that. And since his other teammate on the right side, Potato Eater, even though he's going to be advancing faster, is going to be all that far away from him. You can see that just quite a lot of ground to cover for him, and the ISIS player is not going to be ready for any kind of aggression at all. You can see the advance times is going to be pretty much standard. Morally, I would be expecting 2TC faster heroic for him. This is really not going to be easy, especially with Ptah right now going for a vision at the bottom and shifting sense on the TC. Alright. Alright, so Samuscream is most definitely going to be in a much worse situation, because he's going to lose the TC before the Prometheus. Oh, he shouldn't be finishing in here, even though shockwaves are flying all around. I'm fully expecting that TC is going to be coming down before any kind of Prometheus is through, and this is horrible. This is absolutely horrible, because he's going to be completely useless. As the red player is right now joining in as well, and 79-80%, yep, absolutely no Prometheus from Samuscream, and this might be even shorter game than we maybe could have expected from this. Nicely played indeed, and 90% Prometheus, goodbye. So good luck to Legend together with Potato Eater, because even though Samuscream still is going to be able to retreat with enough villages, I would be thinking, Oh yeah, without those guys, these are toast. Those three guys are pretty much dead. Absolutely no doubt about it, especially with all the army coming to the bottom. These guys still will survive, and 4 villagers, yeah, it's not bad. Could have been much worse, of course, and potentially if the legend somehow is able to defend properly, there could be something going for them, but the missing age, well, that definitely hurts quite a lot. Quite a lot indeed. Those blue villagers just cleaning absolutely everything up. And there's not going to be any sign of purple, as he's of course going to be losing quite soon. The villagers somewhere... Oh, he let them go? That's a bit of a shame, but at least they are going to be caught by the blue player. And a bit... Oh, this is nicely played by Joe. He's just path blocking all those citizens, so they are absolutely totally toast. They are not going to be running away anywhere. And with a double spy on them, they wouldn't be anyway. Even if he ran somewhere to the bottom, to basically hide in a corner, it wouldn't do any good to him. And well, yeah. Tough times for the TM team. Double kill right there, and the army is still pretty strong right now from the Deities of Death, but at the same time you can see that Potato Eater with the Legend are reacting quite correctly, not really going for any raiding, but for full-on defense, and the Legend with basically going on for some prestige spam, it seems like, as he's so far not advancing into the next age, and unfortunately the purple player is going to be stealing his own gold. I'm not exactly sure he should be doing that exactly, because that could disrupt the Legend's gameplay pretty badly. And that's not something that he would be wanting at all. So the last purple building going to be coming down, with the TC being captured of course by Joe 1244. Whereas we don't really see anything else happening on the map, so we are probably going to be following in the footsteps of all this army and going to be seeing how well they are gonna do with their opponents. Probably going for the TC, I would be expecting, with the support of pretty large army already. Yeah, he does have enough resources for the TC just about now, and the army is going to be trying to have a look what's happening in here, but unfortunately they're going to be discovering there's a bit more that they can actually handle, and can they handle it as a team? Well, this was actually the very last building from purple, sorry. I thought it was the temple, it was the economic guild. And blue is nicely ready. Where is actually green? Already raiding on the foot. Nicely played, so the Legend doesn't have as easy game as you would have maybe hoped. And with the nice forward base being quite ready from both Libertine and Greece, yeah, the TC is not gonna get finished. This was kind of weird idea. They probably thought that the army that they are having is actually going to be strong enough, but oh man. Oh, goodbye with these. And they are actually path blocking themselves. You can see Potato Eater is basically blocking those guys, and they are gonna die. And this basically means that Samuscream is going to be out of the game altogether. He's going to be resigned, he's going to be defeated altogether. Because he doesn't have anything left. Like, literally no trace of purple player is here. Oh! And he resigned before that. That's a shame. I wanted to see that. I wanted actually to see him scratched on the merit of him losing absolutely everything. But right now, there is absolutely nothing purple on the map left. They have made a perfect job of cleaning up, so it's going to be up to Legend and Potato Eater to maybe somehow salvage the game. I'm not exactly sure how they could be doing that, but they seem to be attempting to do so. It's going to be Samuscream just watching around, seeing how the game is going. And I have to say that actually Legend, together, right now advancing into Neftis, together with Potato Eater, are not that bad off. They had all the time in the world to actually do what they wanted. And Dax Pickaxe in here for the teal player, as he's having a pretty decent army. And the yellow player is having what? Just Pickaxe, but it should be pretty much enough for him as an Isis. And as he casts Prosperity, he has, and I think quite a lot earlier. There's a lot of extra goats right now gathered from Samuscream into Joe's economy just now coming up. So, and the long house and some house, so they are definitely going to be slowing the game a bit down. Trying to be preparing what's going to come from their opponents, and well, this of course will mean that Grease together with Libertine should be going for a bit of raiding, as I'm fairly certain that Joe together with the TC in the former home base of Samuscream should be quite fine with everything. But it seems like the GGs are going to be coming in, and there's not... Oh, This is the reason. Libertine going exactly for the raid-in, and he's gonna be killing extra villages, and also making sure that this TC is not going to be coming under opponent's power. GG, quite fast game, 9 minutes, and well executed, and unfortunately, I have to say Samus Scream kinda helped them with a very late advance, like 5-10, and that basically allowed to kill him altogether. If he had the next Age, the game could have been different, I think, because he could have made an army, but without the extra army from him, it was pretty tough for them. So let's check the post game. It show, well, all dots executed it properly. Not any kind of problem. Just 7 citizens, unfortunately, for Samus Scream. And military count 3, unit skill 2. That's what happens when you cannot even advance it to the next Age. Unfortunate game, but when you have some kind of strategy, that does tend to happen. To your opponents, of course. GG.